I finally decided to check out Mousekersize, and I was kind of curious to see what they would do with this, because it's a spin-off of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, by which I mean it's set in a section of the clubhouse, and different characters are teaching us different exercises. I will say that I thought it was a lot shorter than I'd expected. Not necessarily a bad thing, but you're not going to get that much exercise benefit from it, even for young children. I feel like by the time a young child has got the rhythm of the movement and learned to copy the movements, it's moved on to the next routine. So my only criticism is that I think it could have been a little bit longer to give certain viewers the opportunity to pick up the movements. But of course, at the same time, these things are designed to be binge watched. Most of us grew up with television, watching the same shows again and again and again, particularly in the days of VHS. But even now, with digital streaming and downloading, these things are watched on repeat. So even though it's not as long as I think it could have been, there's obviously going to be an element of repetition when children watch these on repeat. And the first episode is called Follow the Mouse. And here we have Minnie and Mickey and Pluto basically doing a march. They're actually teaching us how to march in a parade. And there's a little song that's not very catchy, but it's not a bad song. And they changed the lyrics to Follow the Pup when Pluto is at the front of the parade. And then you're encouraged to march as if you were following Minnie and Mickey. So it's a nice way to encourage the viewer to get up and get moving. I think certainly any kind of visual media that encourages the viewer to move around, especially for young children, is a good thing, because many young children, and me as a fully grown adult, spend far too much time in front of a screen and basically becoming comatose a lot of the time. So it encourages some movement and gets the blood flowing and gets the heart racing a little bit. Not that much. It's not exactly fast-paced or high energy. But I think for young children watching it, who are just going to stand up and maybe march around their living room or wherever they are, I think it's got a good interactive element to it. Definitely something that I would have liked to have been a little bit longer. Maybe just double the length, just a little bit more time to get things moving, but it's not a massive issue. I think it is, a fun and relatable way to get children moving. The animation is really nice. The movement is very fluid and very well animated, but I also like the area of the clubhouse that's kind of decked out like a mini gym. I think it's very creative and very fun. The costumes they're wearing are slightly different to what we're used to seeing with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. So if a young Disney fan is watching this, I definitely think it would encourage a bit of exercise. The music wasn't that great. I personally didn't find it very catchy. It's not something that I'm going to be tapping my foot along to anytime soon. But for a young viewer, it's pretty good fun. And I know that sounds obvious because I'm 30 years old, I'm not the target audience. But I actually kind of do enjoy Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I think it's quite sweet and quite funny, very well animated. This seems like a little bit less care has been taken with it, but it's still well edited, it flows nicely. If it encourages anybody to get up and march around, then that's great, and I will continue to watch the rest of them. At the moment, with Follow the Mouse as my first impression, I think it's pretty sweet and definitely gets the job done.